What's your like day to day like now? You're just always on the road?
Day to day, I'm always on the road. This week, I got 5 shows this week, so I'm home today, tomorrow, and then I'm out again. Last night I was in in Orange County at the amphitheater, Pacific Amphitheater.
Okay, great.
I did that show, and then the day before that I was in Tucson, and the day before that I was in Flagstaff. So it's always go, go, go.
How do you like the heat?
The heat was really bad on stage. Like I was sweating up a storm. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I want to show a picture. My tour manager basically was showing me the amount of the way that we travel, and there's a map that shows the crisscrossing. It's pretty crazy to see. This is the map. This is what it looks like. My tour.
Wow.
This is what my tour looks like.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
So if you want to go ahead and show that, or I'll send you the thing. So
let me take a photo.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Oh wow, that's a lot of money on that private jet, man.
Yes.
Dang.
And fortunately, the tour is going very well. Otherwise, there's no way I would do it.
Who do you watch that you like really love and stand up?
Comics that make me laugh. Oh man, Bill Burr makes me laugh. Jim Jeffries, Tom Segura, Chappelle.
Yeah.
Chris Rock. Comics that push the envelope and take chances that I would never take.
I see.
You know, my whole brand is very much everybody's welcome. We're keeping it cool. I'm not going to ruffle feathers. And some people might say, oh, well, you're not really, are you really doing comedy? Dude, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm making sure that everybody can come and enjoy the show and people feel safe at my show. So I'm not trying to get political and stuff like that, but I love hearing political humor. I love hearing comics that just speak their mind freely and say whatever they want to say.
Right.
I remember I hung out with Jim Jeffries, and he's one of my favorites. I did his podcast, and afterwards we went to go pee, and we're right there side by side going, and I just looked at him and said, "Hey Jim, can I tell you something?" "Yeah, go ahead." I envy your ability to be as open and free as you want on that stage and to be able to just say whatever you want. I envy that. And he looks at me and he says, "I envy your money." I was like, touche.
It's a good Jim Jeffries.
But yeah, so, comics that push the envelope, that's what I like to watch.
Yeah.
But I do try to keep the show fun and friendly. And yes, I have an opinion, but I save that for the bar.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's really great to...
I think a lot of times comics get in the situation where once they get a certain level of fame, all of a sudden they have an agenda. Now they want to speak. Now they have an opinion on X, Y, or Z. And I think you do a disservice to your fans by doing that. All of a sudden when you change, we're like, whoa, this is not what I signed up for.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so you have to always remember the people are there to support you, and they're there to grow on this trip with you. And if all of a sudden you start doing things that ruffle feathers and cause you to have friction, you're some people are going to go with you and some people aren't.
Do you think that you'll ever retire?
I talk about it a lot.
You have enough money, right?
It's not a financial thing. It's not trying to stay on the road, pay for that, whatever.
The chihuahuas. For the chihuahuas, yeah. Chihuahuas can't be that expensive.
Got to pay for them dog beds, man. Yeah. I talk about it only because the last thing I want is to be a shell of myself and be like, man, that guy back in the day, remember how funny he was? I don't want people to talk about me that way. And I would rather leave on a high note, because I actually thought about retiring after Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
I thought, what an incredible way to freaking say goodbye. Like on the biggest stage, biggest show ever at home. Thank you. Good night. Write the book. Call it a day. But I'm still young enough to be able to tour and go out there, and I still love it.
If you did that, if you retired after Dodger Stadium and you walked away, what would you do?
Honestly, I would have focused 100% on my health. I would have just gotten away from everything that caused me to get big and work on just, I want to spend the money. I work too hard to leave it behind to people that have no idea how to budget. So I'm trying to build Mexican Graceland at my house. I got the cars. And, here's where Fluffy used to blow it up. And here's the Fluffy gym. It looks new, doesn't it? Yeah.
That'd be sick.
We could go the Fluffy car collection. And so I would definitely just focus on that.
Well, why don't you do that? Why don't you go to 100 shows a year and focus on your health?
You know what? I make excuses. I do. I never want to not perform as much as I can because I feel like if I'm not, then you lose a step. You know, people think, oh, you could just pick up the mic and just start over. For me, it's muscle memory. No pun intended. It's a workout in my mind. I have to constantly be doing it in order to stay sharp and to be able to navigate. Because otherwise, like as it is, when I get home and I have like 3-4 days off, that first show that I come back on Thursday or Wednesday, I'm always like I gotta second guess myself.
You're off.
And that's only from a few days of not doing it. So if I was to take big breaks,
damn,
man,
I've been on stage for 3 weeks and I got a gig tomorrow night. I'm
but that's me. That's me. That's not everybody. Me. Now, why not just do 100 shows and then focus on everything else? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw Burt Kreischer the other day.
Speaking of which, I was about to say this thing's become a machine, and then you did that.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow.
Look at that transition
right here.
Damn, right here, dog.
You should open for him tomorrow.
You should open for
me. Can I do a type 5?
Worst. Can you imagine he opens for me and then I come out?
Yeah, it's like, can you get off the stage?
That's my big concern.
Can you imagine how big of a mind would be to a crowd?
And now
got this guy. He's been working on his set for Conan. Conan's not even
around. Sometimes when I go into these places, they'll be like, "Do you want an opener?" And I'm like, I guess." And then sometimes they're way funnier than me, and I'm like, "Oh no,
yeah,
it's the worst." But then I guess that's good too. It raises your game.
I feel like having strong openers definitely raises your game, and it keeps you from being lazy and complacent.
Yeah.
Because if you see these guys rocking it, you're like, man, you're in the back. You're like, okay, all right, let's talk about this. And you start Rain Manning yourself. Okay, line up this joke with this joke and this bit. Here we go.
Right.
And go out there.
But yeah, I saw Bert the other day, and he got up to 270, and now he's down to he's trying to get back to 230. He lost 20 already, but it's the same thing. He's out on the road. He's in a tour bus.
With Bert, hey man, see in my case, hey, if I want to put on a big jacket or put on a big shirt to try to cover certain things up, but Bert's freaking, he raw dogs his audience. He's just out there gut to the wind, and so yeah, I think I would train a little bit harder if people could see everything.
Right, but then that's also part of it too. People love to see. His body and his shirt off.
That is the most pro body. Like I wish I was that confident.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too.
Even at the beach, I'm just like looking around.
Who are some of the people that you've worked with that you were like maybe on a movie or a TV show or that's like blown your mind, been really cool?
You know who surprised me, and I shouldn't say surprised me because he's very talented, is Joe Coy. Joe Coy, when I had my series a while back, he came on as a special guest for the week, and man, he was just on it, like with the script and the back and forth and rehearsals. And, when we do 2, 3, 4, 5 takes, he would still hit his mark every single time. And then he would improvise. And he was so quick and sharp, and everybody was laughing. And I'm like, that's awesome. Because then him doing that made me freaking, so we had a couple scenes together where, man, it was just so funny.
What show was this?
It was Mr. Iglesias on
your
Netflix.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.